and denigrated into a lot of very unkind remarks from both sides and kind of a pro wrestling culture war of sorts that we're going to attempt to solve in just a moment.
This next contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, making his way to the ring, the physical specimen, Spencer Slade.
Well, Spencer Slade talked online about his accomplishments, his college athletics accolades, his All-American history, his standout wrestling acumen as an amateur, and a man who has just been such a natural to sports, has been such a prodigy to every task he undertakes. And Spencer seems to feel that his body, his size, and his background lends itself to Spencer being ready-made and perhaps maybe even a little more deserving of opportunities in professional wrestling. And, you know, Lendl, that's a very polarizing issue in today's climate.
Well, he certainly looks the part, Joe, but a very smart man once told me nobody deserves anything in this business. And no matter if you look like Spencer Slade, Johnny Patch, or one of these fans out here, you have to earn your spot. And in my opinion, Joe, Johnny Patch has done that a little more than Spencer has to this point.
You saw Spencer come out with one of those collegiate medallions. I'm not sure if that's to designate his All-American status or what. Maybe we can get a look at it in a moment. But right now, someone who is the antithesis of what you'd think a traditional professional wrestler to be, and he's proud of it.
And his opponent, making his way to the ring, the Daredevil, Johnny Patch.
Johnny Patch has always done things his own way. He has bucked a lot of those traditional elements, and Patch says, you know what? As long as you're good enough and as long as you're dedicated, pro wrestling's for everybody. And Johnny Patch, I would say he's in that category of somebody that has proven himself. He doesn't have those six-pack abs. He's not 6'3" or 4. But Johnny Patch has a lot of heart, and bottom line, Johnny Patch is fearless. We saw Patch enter Super Indy 19, what has been a dream of his ever since he started following independent professional wrestling. And there is no shame in being eliminated in the first round. Oh, man. You don't turn your back on your opponent. Spencer Slade shows Patch that from Jump Street.
Well, Spencer's been very adamant, Joe. We've seen on social media over the past few weeks, he does not think that a guy that looks like Johnny Patch should be in this business. Spencer thinks that this business is about the body, guys. This business is about the athleticism. And you know what? You mentioned it, Joe. Johnny Patch, he may not have those six-pack abs. He may not be over 6 feet tall. But you know what? Johnny Patch has done some things I don't think anybody can do. Do you remember last year when we saw that shooting star press coast to coast? It was unbelievable, Joe, and I still to this point don't think it's ever been done since.
And you know what? You want to look at professional resumes? I'd say Johnny Patch's outranks Spencer Slade's any day of the week. And maybe Spencer's got a little bit of bitterness about that. Maybe there's a little bit of jealousy there. That Spencer, this didn't come as easily to Spencer as it did all of his other sports and his other accolades. But pro wrestling is like no other animal, no other monster, no other sport or form of entertainment. It's it involves so much more than just being a great athlete. It's a thinking man's game as well. It's who's tougher. It's who's smarter. It's who's more resourceful. Sometimes these battles are won and lost in the boardroom, as we've seen with Jock Sampson.
Well, you know what, Joe? Spencer, he's an All-American.
Whoa, 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 trying to elevate Patch. That German suplex on this ground.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's no mats out here today. Johnny Patch will go right on the grass here.
Slade could eliminate Patch from the business himself. And as Patch able to break the grip, check this out. Acai boots on top of Slade.
Beautifully done by Johnny Patch. He may have tweaked his knee here.
Yep.
And that's not good news for the Daredevil.
Patch comes up gingerly. I'm not sure if it's the knee and the ankle or what it is, but a sensitive landing as Patch looking to shrug it off and no, was going to go to the top. Thought second of it, goes to the lateral press for one. I think that was a great adjustment by Patch. And you saw him reach for the ankle that time. And oh God, another German release suplex. That landing, I think, has forced Patch to shift his strategy And to Spencer's point, that's the dangers of Johnny Patch's high-risk style.
Spencer with the boots now. We mentioned before, Spencer is a state champion high school football player. He's an All-American collegiate football player. He looks like $1 million. He lives in the gym. I think the problem is this guy, when he started his training, he thought it was going to come easy to him. And he's been in the business a few months now, and since he hasn't gotten those same opportunities, he thinks that there's somebody slighting him. And you know what? You have to earn these opportunities no matter what you look like. And, Joe, a victory over the former Super Indy champion, he's going to earn some victories.
As Spencer goes for the ankle lock. Spencer could sense the damage done. I like Patch's, oh, God, the nip up, but right into the clothesline. I like that Patch has that mentality as Spencer finds to get to your feet as quickly as you can no matter what. The heart and the mind are willing, but the body's not cooperating for Johnny Patch right now.
And it's very early on in the match, and we've already seen Spencer go for that ankle lock that he's used over the past few months to gain some impressive victories. He beat Thick Vic Braun the last time we were here in Brownsville at the drive-in.
And you know what? Spencer has had a rough time. I mean, his best friend turned his back on him. We've seen Spencer in many tag team matches where I think Spencer felt like he was the best guy in the match, but the result necessarily didn't show that. It wasn't Spencer being the hero like maybe he envisioned in his mind. A 1-foot cover, not going to beat Johnny Patch that way, not at all. But I think Spencer felt like he'd get a hero's welcome, but I think he found out that the playing field had a lot tougher combatants on it than maybe Spencer had figured to the point we've been making. And now the bone of the knee exposed by Spencer Slade. And nothing collegiate about that, but there you see out of the way, and perhaps Patch can find a weak point on Spencer Slade now if enough damage was done to the knee.
Point of the elbow right in the jaw, and you mentioned, Joe, all these little things that are upsetting Spencer Slade over the last few months. All of these little things are trickling into this slight attitude change we've been seeing over the last few weeks.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, Spencer's entitled to his opinion. I'm not saying he isn't. He's allowed to speak his mind, but what gives Spencer Slade the right at about a year in to dictate what wrestling should or shouldn't be, or who should or shouldn't be in it? I mean, who made him the god of pro wrestling?
Well, he thinks he is. He thinks he made himself the god of pro wrestling. You know, this is a guy, Joe, that, you know, I heard some rumblings backstage that he thought once Wardlow left this company, he should have been the man. Well, Justin Plummer should have looked at Spencer Slade and said, that's my next guy, and that didn't happen yet.
Well, I mean, as they say, you can't pay the bills on potential. Spencer's got a ton of it. And Patch lands on his feet, but again, gingerly landing on the ankle, which caused delay in the follow-through, but Patch got that shotgun drop kick off anyway. Patch is a half step slower thanks to that landing on the acai moonsault several minutes ago, but he's still fighting here, and he's getting the better of Spencer. He's quickening to the pace as best he can. That's out of Spencer's wheelhouse, but Spencer caught him. And a belly to belly, nicely done.
And even the last offensive maneuvers that Patch has attempted, they're all putting more pressure on that injured leg or ankle, knee, whatever it is. We're not too sure right now, but the shotgun drop kick, the jump off the top rope, that's all going to hurt the legs, the bottom half of the body, Joe.
Spencer can be a suplex machine when he wants to, and those suplexes will certainly do their damage. They'll take the wind out of you, and every time Patch is down, in my opinion, he's susceptible to that ankle lock, and especially right center of the ring. We've seen Spencer multiple times in recent matches just have that tunnel vision. You mentioned that Vic Braun match from a couple of months ago. Tunnel vision on that ankle. That's what Spencer Slade wants his calling card to be, and it's been very effective for him thus far. You can see why. But notice Patch is staying on his feet. Spencer's firing away with his best shots. Everything he's got but Patch bringing the fight. Patch looking for redemption as he comes through with a flying forearm. Looking for redemption after being eliminated from Super Indy 19. He came in defending champion. He wanted to go coast to coast. Sam Adonis had other ideas, and make no mistake about it, there is absolutely no shame in losing to Sam Adonis or losing in the first round. Patch fought his ass off, and he deserves respect for it. And you got to believe that, oh, what a physical clothesline. Brian Pillman Jr., he's got to look at Patch on his short list of top contenders as Patch gets one. If I'm Pillman, I'm on the IWC Network now, and I'm scouting, because Patch is hungry after making it to the mountaintop and then losing it.
Well, kind of predictable. What we thought was going to happen in this match has happened. Slade has relied on his power. Patch is trying to rely on his quickness. But, Joe, these guys are slugging it out. They have no respect for each other, and they just want to hurt the other. We've seen their social media comments. There is no love lost between these two.
I think Patch may be gassed here. He went for a wild swing and just did not connect. I think that's maybe the wrestling equivalent of a Hail Mary. And these rapid fire German suplexes in succession aren't going to help matters. But Patch rolls through. Patch chops him, shoulders down, no. Half a count away that time. Patch dug down into the reserves and found a second or third win. And Spencer to the ankle lock again.
Patch looked like he was attempting maybe a German of his own, but Slade has that ankle lock. Patch trying to get up to one leg, and he fights out of it.
Yeah, the tenacity of Johnny Patch comes into play. Spencer again drops him on the back of his head. And you see once again, Patch with that mentality. Get on your feet and fight. But, man, the body wouldn't cooperate. I don't know if that ankle rolled again or just momentum carried him to the outside, but Spencer may win this thing by count. It was not handily done, young man. It wasn't as easy as you're letting on right now, but this could be a count-out win for Spencer.
Joe, I'm going to have to go back and look at the replay, but I think on the torque of that German that Patch, his ankle landed right on that bottom rope is what I think happened at the end of that landing there.
Well, I mean, any amount of torque or twisting to that ankle is going to cause just a jolt of pain up and down that leg. So much discomfort at this point. And it's because Spencer Slade has had a bullseye on that part of the body, along with those suplexes. And Spencer's calling for the bell, but that's not how it works.
I don't think Patch is going to give up. You'd have to amputate that leg.
Wait a minute, Patch the roll up, Patch the roll up, and nearly got him. Enziguri and Spencer, the ankle locking, what is this, the third time?
Patch has been able to fight out of it 2 times previously. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it this time.
Vertical base, the fireman carries slam countered into the elevated DDT. Patch has Spencer down, and Patch perhaps has an opportunity.
And it looks like Patch is going to be the first to his feet, Joe. Maybe Spencer's gassed at this point.
It's very possible. I mean, Spencer dropped right into the top of his head, and that's where that large frame, that mass works against you when your body weight's compressed down on that head and neck. And now Pat's going to take a chance. Could be shooting star. Turned his back on Spencer again. Made a big-time mistake. And that fireman carry slam from way up high drives the wind out of Patch. Can Spencer follow through?
Spencer looks like he's been watching his Jimmy Vegas matches as he hits that move from the top rope. And, you know, you mentioned that huge suplex from the top rope. The numbers of Germans that he has delivered to Patch, they take a lot out of Spencer Slade as well. He has to lift Patch over his head and throw him.
Notice Lendl Slade reached over for the cover. Patch rolled onto his stomach. Smart maneuver by Patch to keep out of harm's way of Spencer and keep his shoulders off the ground. And Spencer, I think, is getting frustrated.
Well, I mentioned, Joe, no love lost, and now the disrespect is coming out of Spencer. He thinks this match should have been over already. And right on the money with that super kick, this could be it.
I bet Spencer hates that move. And a near fall. Johnny Patch is showing still signs of life, and again, this is that same tenacity that motivated him through many a difficult Super Indie title defense matches with the likes of Josh Alexander. The draw with Gresham. Spencer picks the ankle for a 4th time.
Patch, I think, was calling for the shooting star press, but before he could get to the top rope, Spencer catches him in the ankle lock again.
And Patch tried to roll over and counter, tried to kick Spencer away, but couldn't do it.
The second time Patch has reached for the ropes, and Spencer brings him right back into the center of the ring.
If Spencer can lean back and cinch in the body, he's got, oh no! The momentum carried Spencer into the official as Patch broke the grip again.
Well, that was definitely unintentional, Joe.
Oh, without question it was. And Patch, a double underhook here. Look at this. I went for the knee strike. Enziguri follow-up. Spencer thought he was a step ahead, but Patch had an answer.
How's Patch going to capitalize on this now, Joe?
A Busaiku knee connects with Spencer. We've seen Patch win a number of matches this way. He's got Spencer pinned, but there's no official. Official had the wind knocked out of him. He's having trouble getting his breath. And Johnny Patch has an all-important win potential to get back in a super and he contention. Spencer has the ankle again.
Patch quickly to the ropes.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this was originally, and Spencer pulls Patch away. Roll through here, roll through, shoulders down. No, this was originally scheduled to be a Super Indy Championship matchup. Shoulders down again. Johnny Patch beats him.
Here is your winner, the Daredevil, Johnny Patch.
So you can add to the list of frustrations from Spencer Slade, not only the fact that he was scheduled for a title opportunity and the delay of this event coupled with Super Indy caused that championship opportunity to disappear, but also the fact that he had that Johnny Patch beat on a number of occasions, but Patch played through the pain and found a way to come out on top. You gotta be impressed with the resolve of Johnny Patch.
And I'm wondering what Spencer Slade is going to say in response to this on social media, Joe, because he lost with a simple wrestling maneuver.
Well,
what are we going to see here?
Spencer wants a handshake, and this is the noble thing to do.
Yeah,
that's what a true competitor
good for Spencer.
About.
Good for Spencer. Take the loss, learn from it, come back stronger next time.
He gave it his best. It was a hell of an effort.
Hell of a match.
Yeah, Spencer has nothing to be ashamed of here. His day's going to come.
Oh, both of these guys have huge futures, and not only in IWC, Joe, but in the wrestling business as a whole. And, oh, come on!
Oh, you son of a...
Come on! I was just about to change my entire opinion of Spencer Slade, and this guy just solidified what a piece of garbage he may be, Joe.
Come on. Neck breaker. That proves absolutely nothing.
You think Justin Plummer's going to watch this match, and not only did Spencer lose, but the insult to injury after the match, you think Justin Plummer's going to say, wow, Spencer deserves a title opportunity? What's wrong with this guy?
What a horse's ass. I mean, the guy's got an ankle injury, Johnny Patch, just got kicked below the belt, and Spencer Slade thinks this is his time to shine. Come on, that's distasteful. And I understand to a point the play of Spencer Slade, but I mean, I can't get on board with this at all. Spencer Slade, as time has gone on, we've seen more and more of what Spencer Slade's about, and I don't like it one bit. Johnny Patch deserves the respect for fighting through the pain and fighting